and I might have to switch if I can't hear you. Uh, Welcome everyone to the September community call for Hummingbot. We are live streaming on YouTube as well as hosting the audio call on our community calls channel on Discord. So just as an intro, Hummingbot is an open source framework that helps people build market making and arbitrage bots. Uh, and we have a monthly community call because our goal is to build a community of developers and traders all around the world that are using the Hummingbot software to build whatever they want. Any type of bot, especially market making and arbitrage across any single crypto exchange, both centralized and decentralized. We do a monthly community call because we now that we are a token foundation, our goal is to allow anyone who has the HBOT token to basically decide how the Hummingbot Foundation operates and allow them to steer the direction of the Hummingbot codebase. So there's a few initiatives that I wanted to discuss today in terms of like that we started recently in order to make the process more efficient. So one of them is the exchange certification process. I'll put a link into the community chat channel, and basically this process is designed so that the foundation can focus on supporting the top exchanges in the code base and help them and make sure that the technical integrations are working properly, that we are working with those exchanges in order to basically make sure that their promotions and other partnerships that they're doing for the community are relayed to you guys. And we're going to be creating bounties that basically incentivize the community to fix bugs and to improve uh, these these exchange integrations. So, and the reason we're doing this is because now Hummingbot currently supports, I think, something like 40 exchanges already, 30 centralized exchanges, and more than 10 decentralized exchanges. In general, I think the number of exchanges in crypto keeps on growing. So, in order for us to actually make sure that each connector is a high quality and bug free, every connector takes a bit of work. And so what's happening, what we've observed in the last couple of years is the more exchanges are added to the code base, the more difficult it is to make sure that each one is working properly and bug free because we're consistently upgrading Hummingbot to add support new features, to support things like like different trading types, and also improving like the latency and the architecture of the connectors. And so, and in addition, the exchanges also are constantly upgrading their APIs and adding new trade types. So that's why there's an ongoing maintenance that's required to make sure that these connects work properly. And to be frank, we've seen overall kind of quality drop as we're adding more and more exchanges. Therefore, we started this process so that the community can decide which exchanges the foundation focuses on every 6 months, and then we are going to take those exchanges and then we will focus our efforts on those. So the for an exchange to be eligible for this process, they should have some a fee share partnership with the foundation. So in the first epoch, and in the second epoch, when we first started this process, we have 8 exchanges that have valid fee share agreements, and actually all 8 were selected to be certified. We're currently going to add probably a couple more partnerships with new exchanges in the next 12 months. Where we just added the BitMEX connector. We're discussing a partnership with BitMEX, and I think we're also talking to WazirX and BitMEX as well. So the number of exchange partnerships should grow, but of those exchange partners, I think even then, I think the community will select every 6 months. So now that we have this process, what we've started to do is really focus on solving bugs for these certified exchanges. So that's why we've also created the bug bounty process that we have also. So the bug bounty process is really designed to allow the community to earn HBot tokens for fixing bugs on on um, on both certified exchanges and the core components of Hummingbot. This is a process we only started a few weeks ago, but overall, we're really excited about how much traction we've already had. So the Bounties board is the main source of truth for bounties. I just posted a link in the chat channel. So about 3 weeks ago, we started adding bugs to this board. I think we added about 10 to 20. And we've already had about 7 or 8 community members be assigned and who are in the process of fixing and earning HBOT for fixing those bugs. So we've already had 4 bugs that um, were fixed by community members, and we paid the HBOT bounties out to them yesterday. And then we also have another 5 submissions that we are currently in the process of reviewing, and another 4 that have been assigned that developers are working on. So, given that we only started this process a few weeks ago, the fact that we already have something like 13 ongoing, thir 5 finished bounties, and another 8 ongoing bug bounties by community members. I think it's a sign that that we're onto something here. That this kind of like community-driven bug fixing process is something that we can expand and continue to operate because each bug takes time to investigate and to fix, and so it's impossible given the number of exchanges and the number of strategies we support in the code base to have one single organization take on all of that. So I think this is a good example of like kind of why we're doing this at the foundation, to try to create a decentralized community of developers all around the world who are looking at different exchanges, fixing bugs, and improving the overall quality of it. So there's the process. We have written down the process in our documentation. So I'll add that to the doc as well. But this is something that if you're interested in, like basically, in helping improve Hummingbot, if you're interested in earning tokens, I think this is a really good way to help us earn tokens and also expand your knowledge of the Hummingbot code base in trading. In the future, we also intend to like decentralize the review and testing process of this part. So currently, the way it works is that developers are assigned, the bounties are created by the foundation. Developers, indicate on the GitHub issue if they want to work on that fix. Then the foundation assigns the developer, and the developer submits the pull request afterwards, and then it's reviewed by foundation engineers, tested by foundation QA, and then merged in the future, we also are going to involve the community in the review and testing of these fixes as well, also compensated by HBOT tokens. And that's, I think, it's an opportunity for folks who are not developers, who are, if you get involved in the process and help us test and review these fixes. So currently, I think we're going to add more bugs to this board, and so hopefully, we'll be able to kind of like tell you guys every single month how many bugs we fixed, and kind of like how many bounties we. This bounties process is explained in our documentation, so I just posted that documentation page to the chat. Before we move on, if there's any questions about the certification process or the bug bounty process, please raise your hand or post your question in the community call chat. Um, okay. Yeah. Those are the kind of like that's really the bug bounty process, exchange certification process we want to explain today. Um, and so and the other thing we started recently that we're very excited about is BotCamp. BotCamp is a new developer boot camp that we're starting to teach people how to build their own high frequency trading strategies and market making strategies using Hummingbot. Um, this is something that I think we've observed is probably the biggest need in the community, which is uh, allowing people to really not just use the off the shelf strategies that Hummingbot ships with, but to customize them and to teach them both the technical side and the financial trading theory side of market making and how frequency trading. So, currently, this bootcamp is free in the very beginning. In the future, we do intend on charging for it. But basically, what it is a 1 month bootcamp where you participate in live sessions, learn how to create this component called scripts, and then in order to kind of finish the bootcamp and get the certification and kind of be eligible for the HBot rewards we're giving out to the participants, you have to basically submit a working example of your script. So each person, we have a page where we listed a bunch of ideas for scripts, or users can add their own ideas. And then during that 1 month boot camp, um, the foundation staff and a set of community mentors will help members of the boot camp, basically write and finish their scripts. So, for instance, uh, in the first session where we're doing the first batch, we've had users, create basically different coming out strategies as scripts. They have their own ideas for different trading algorithms and techniques they want to implement. And so, the bootcamp staff are helping them basically put together those strategies. So the goal of BotCamp is really twofold. The first is to um, teach people and basically teach them how to become a market maker or an HFT trader, certify them, and allow them to increase their skills and potentially get a job at a hedge fund or a trading firm or improve their own personal trading. In addition, the submissions that users submit, the scripts they submit, will become the top ones will become part of the open source code base, as voted on by the BotCamp reviewers and mentors, and every submission, will become kind of like will be available as well as pull requests if people want to see. So what we're trying to do with Bootcamp as well is to create a repository of all the scripts that people have submitted and create more examples that allow anyone in Hummingbot, regardless of whether you attended BotCamp or not, in order to see lots of different examples of scripts we've created, and then you can take those, use them yourself, and or expand upon them. Because what we've learned over the past kind of couple of years is that the folks who've had the most success with Hummingbot are the ones who are not just not running off the shelf strategies, but instead they're added their own kind of customizations, their own logic, and kind of building kind of like strategies that reflect what they're trying to do instead of just kind of running off the shelf. So that's why we believe that if we create an initiative that focuses on teaching people how to get the most out of Hummingbot, from both a trading perspective as well as from a developer perspective, then it will empower them to do more with Hummingbot while also creating more examples for everyone. So, BotCamp is probably, we believe that BotCamp will eventually, become the main activity of the Hummingbot Foundation. And so, right now, we're just starting with one batch. One batch every like 1 to 2 months, only one course. but we intend on expanding that if it becomes successful into kind of like multiple batches per month with multiple courses as well that focus on different aspects of market making, developing kind of scripted strategies and other aspects of using. So I know a lot of you guys are probably in the first batch of BotCamp. So we tend to see our longtime community members at these calls. But however, I think for everyone listening on YouTube, and this will be recorded. I want to just explain how BotCamp works and why we're doing it. Uh, Any questions about BotCamp? I see. There's yes. So I think there's one question from about what data is needed in these fields. Uh, Basically, the fields are Discord handle, a ETH address, and the GitHub handle. So the Discord handle is basically in if you, yeah, and the reason we require the Discord handle is basically your name with the four numbers after it. So for instance, mine is Fatality, and my Discord number is 8283. So let me, for example, uh, here's my Discord handle. I'll just type it in the chat. So it's Fatality, 8283. Um, and then it's the public ETH address. So this is basically your wallet address. So for instance, let's say you had like a random address out there like 0x ABC uh, DEF that, and then finding your GitHub handle is basically and the reason we do this is because you'll be using your GitHub. You'll be submitting your submissions using GitHub because everything is in GitHub. So the GitHub handle is basically if you sign up for GitHub, you'll have it's basically your GitHub profile account. So for instance, here's my GitHub handle. It's like this. So the reason we ask you these things is because these are kind of how we communicate with participants in BotCamp. There's a Discord channel which everyone in the BotCamp batch will use to coordinate. We will, if you pass BotCamp, we will send an NFT certification as well as HBot rewards to your public ETH address, and you will need GitHub in order to submit your script and have it reviewed by our team. So that's why we ask for these three sets of information upon sign up. Yeah, if anyone else has questions about BotCamp, please list it in the chat, and yeah, we'll try to answer it as we go. Okay. If there aren't any more questions about BotCamp, let me move on to the last phase of the community call, which is an update on the ongoing kind of like improving bounties and governance kind of processes that we've been working on the foundation. So to give a recap of the first kind of like 8 months of the foundation. Initially, we were really focused on kind of allowing the community to propose anything they want, and not really giving much guidance and trying to approve, basically for the proposals that were approved. We try to work with the submitter to make sure that their submission is reviewed, is working properly, and getting that merged into the code base. So I think we've learned a lot about what works and what doesn't work throughout the process. I think the one thing we've realized is that unfortunately, a very open-ended process doesn't work very well because what we've ended up with is about there's probably about 15 to 20 ongoing bounties. These are all the ones that were in the improvement proposals section in in the board. So basically, we have things like different kind of external visualization tools, connectors for various exchanges, and like connectors for like especially on the gateway, both on the gateway side and the non-gateway side. So there's a lot of like ongoing projects. They're all kind of different that are ongoing right now. And to be honest, I think um, it's a lot of work for the foundation to maintain and kind of manage all these ongoing projects. And it's also unclear exactly how they're all aligned to the future direction of Hummingbot and how it really helps everyone in the community. So, I think that we'll still work actively with any approved HIPs. However, um, I think to make the process kind of better for everyone, um, we think it's better to focus on a few larger projects and work with the community members to make sure that these larger projects are actually, going to get done and help everyone, rather than have a more open-ended process where we focus on lots of different smaller. So that's why what we started to do is we're going to try to close out all the existing improvements proposals that are currently standing. We'll publish a list of all of them in the next few weeks and kind of make that available so that everyone in the community can see the status of these improvement bounties. But going forward, we intend to focus on a few larger items. So the large kind of like improvements that we're currently working on are the ones listed in the agenda. So there are really about three. There are three larger ones that we're working on. The first is the Solana integration for Gateway. So Solana is it's probably one of the largest non-Ethereum blockchains, and because it's a completely different architecture from Ethereum, and the underlying language is Rust as opposed to Solidity or JavaScript. Um, there's a lot of technical challenges with adding integrations for Solana. In addition, Solana is also an order book focused deck, so the Serum is kind of like more compatible with this, the order book exchange with Hummingbot rather than the AMM exchanges that are Gateway. So, but we believe that adding Solana is going to open up a lot of different opportunities for the community because you can do arbitrage and market making between Solana exchanges and regular exchanges, and because of Solana's speed and focus on kind of like high frequency trading applications, there's been a lot of kind of like exchanges, and other like, financial applications on the Solana blockchain. So we believe that in the long run, like having Solana connectivity is really important for the success of Gateway and for Hummingbot in general. So there's a team from the Solana ecosystem that's been working on this integration for a while, and they've just finished phase one. So phase one is adding support for Solana into Hummingbot and adding support for Serum, the main order book DEX of Solana, into Hummingbot. So that PR was merged in I think last week, and we've paid the bounty associated with it, which is HIP HIP uh, 5, sorry, HIP 3. So it was a lot of work, and I want to thank Mike or Dipfit and Danilo for all the work they put in. However, this is just phase one for the Solana integration, because right now, even though the underlying kind of the code, the base architecture has been added, it still isn't hooked up yet to Hummingbot strategies, and it's just not working properly quite yet. And there's a couple reasons for that. One of which is that Gateway currently does not support WebSocket, so therefore the devs who built this integration are kind of they can't use the order book tracker and the user stream tracker parts of Hummingbot that the normal central exchanges do, because they don't have data in WebSocket. So that's why for phase two, basically we're going to break up the rest of the work in two phases. So phase one is already complete. Phase two is going to be just kind of just getting the existing functionality to work and have a a demo market making strategy or script that shows how people can provide liquidity or basically do some type of market making bot on the Serum exchange. Phase 3 is adding WebSocket support for Gateway, and actually hooking up the Solana based exchanges to and using the rest of Hummingbot, and in order to the Solana dexes can actually be treated just like any other centralized exchange. But because that requires WebSocket support and Gateway, we're going to kind of like make sure that that's available first before these guys move on and do phase 3. So just to recap, the next step for Solana, the Solana improving bounty is for the dev team to in phase 2 just add basic support for what they've done already, and then in phase 3 it would be to basically make the Serum and the Dex connector a full like connector, just like any other sex connector in Hummingbot, so that any strategy or script can work. Okay. Any questions about Solana? Solana integration before we move on to the other larger projects that we've proposed? All right. Okay. So let's move on and talk about the other two larger initiatives that we're promoting. The first one is the orchestration module project. So orchestration, what we mean by that is ability to run multiple bots and to kind of configure, start and stop those bots kind of from some type of like central control plane. So this is a pretty big project because it's really we've had a lot of people who have asked for this, and there's a lot of like underlying changes that are needed to how architecture to support this. So and so we've talked about this a lot in past developer calls we have on a weekly basis, and so we've recently created the proposal for it that allocates budget, a total of 2 million HBOT tokens for two community members. Uh, One named the Holy Roger, who has submitted a remote commands execution module, PR, and another community member named KLPNAGI. Not sure how to pronounce that. And he's created a kind of like a broker system using the MQTT standard that allows him to kind of control multiple hummingbots from a single like a single interface. So they're planning to work together to create basically this orchestration module in two phases. And the proposal has been created yesterday, so I'll paste that in the community call chat now. But it's open for voting for the next 7 days, and if it's approved, then these two devs will basically start the work and hopefully deliver it in the next 1 or 2 months. So this one is, I think, it's a very important like initiative because we do see a lot of professional users talking about exchanges, token projects, market makers, and so a lot of them are trying to run 50 to 100 bots. And so we know right now, like that experience is, it's really hard to manage because you're having to update and start and stop each bot manually. Whereas this orchestration module will allow people to control, you know, basically any number of bots from a single interface, as well as use that same architecture to send signals in from TradingView, so that the bots can respond to TradingView events. I think that this orchestration project will increase the power and scale of HomeApp quite a lot, which is why we're going to try to really help these two devs get it. Those are two projects, and then finally the third one, which is still starting up, is the indicators module that we're starting. So that one is actually going to be led by our engineer Fede. So maybe Fede, if you can give the community some update on where that project is, and kind of like and the types of developers that you think would be good to work on that project.
Okay. Well, hello everyone for the ones that were new in the call. The idea of this project is to provide OHLCs to the client. So these OHLCs can be multiple OHLCs from time, from volume. Well, there will be like different kind of bars that we can construct and use in the client. And I will be leading this project. And obviously, if anyone in the community wants to join, they can present or say that to us, maybe in the indicators channel. And the kind of experience that we are going to request from them will be that they know how to code async async methods or async code, because all this module will be async, and it's a big blocker if you don't know how to do it, just to make it faster and do the work. Then it won't have so much complexity. Just how to handle different tasks at the same time. That will be the only requirement. Probably in the team that we are going to develop this module, we will need like 2 persons or 3 persons. So if anyone wants to be part of it, just mention it or tag me in the indicators channel. And well, then we are going, depends on the quantity of developers that wants to work on that, we are going to add you. So right now I started the project creating the basic classes, the basic data structures that we are going to need. But well, for now, it's not. There is no more development. The other thing is that Mike posted the PRD there. In the how section, you will find like the modules that this solution will have. We're going to provide a module to collect information from the exchanges. We're going to collect the historical trades and save them. So that information will be useful there then to use it as you want. Then after that module will collect all the trades, storing pickles or CSV. Then we're going to define that. And also we are going to have a module that will be streaming via WebSockets the new trades. So with that information, we can construct any candle that we want and serve multiple bots with that information. So probably we're going to offer the 2 solutions. One of them will be like creating this microservice as a standalone component and just send information to the bots. And the other solution will be having these indicators attached to the bot directly and let the bot access the indicators. The solution of the microservice is like the best one in terms of scalability, because you can have just one instance that is like in charge of receiving the trades, creating the OHLCs, collecting information, well, all the things that you had to do. And then this bot or the module will send the information, process it to the bots. So in terms of scalability, it's much more better to have an architecture like that using just a microservice. Well, I think that's all for, I don't know if anyone has a question about it. Okay. Can you hear me or I'm disconnected?
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought that.
Yeah, we can hear you. So yeah, so it seems like I think that yeah, I think if there's no questions, we can probably end the call early today. Seems like I think that if there's no more questions, I think that's pretty much it for this month's call. Next month, we're really just focused on expanding the process we started recently. So getting more bug fixes on the bug bounties board. Working with our certified exchanges to launch new promotions, and also really finishing the first batch of BotCamp, and then launching the second one in the next 1 or 2 months. So overall, I think that there's a lot going on right now, but there's I think overall, but we're starting to see kind of like there's more of a like we're starting to really kind of gel and discover what our North Star is, the Hummingbot, which is really about educating the entire world about market making and HFT, and giving them a single code base that they can use to basically do whatever they want, and the lessons they need in order to actually master that. So thank you everyone for joining this month. As a reminder, we actually do this call every Wednesday. The other 3 weeks of the month, we focus on developer issues, and we kind of go more in depth into issues that people are seeing, the fixes they're proposing, and some of the PRDs for the upcoming larger projects, like indicators and discussion around that with the developers community. And then for these monthly community calls, we try to summarize everything and have it be something that where we can communicate in a more general audience. Okay, well, thank you very much, and we'll see you next month.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye, everyone.